Hey guys, so update on my port. It eventually did draw back blood, so I was able to get my labs done today. I haven't gotten the results back from them though. It was for an A1C, which is a diabetic thing. It tests the average of your blood sugar like over time, blood sugar levels over time, and like projects a number. And if it's like really high, you have diabetes basically. Well, at least that's the way I understand it. I could very well be wrong, so if I am, don't like trash me in the comments. But that's my understanding. If you're more educated than I am, feel free to put your 2 cents in. Because I'm not actually diabetic, so yay for that, but that's my understanding. So today, Heidi, the art therapist, came back, not to do art therapy, but she wanted me to do a follow-up interview with IU Health's, like, photographer slash videographer guy. So I've already done an interview with him, and that's on the IU Health page somewhere, about my lung transplant and music therapy. So this was basically a follow-up to that and where my head's at now. I don't know when his video will come out, but when it does, I'll try to remember to post it on here as well, or at least a link to it or something, or the information for it, so that everybody can see that and whatnot. He makes some really good little videos, so if you're ever interested in learning more about services offered at IU Health, check those out on their Facebook page. Had some up and down news today that ended poorly. I'm not really at liberty to say what all it was, but I'm kind of in a rough mood from it. Let's just say I thought I was going to have money for something, and now I don't. And I'm trying to decide. It was something frivolous, granted, but I was going to use some of the money for something not so frivolous as well. And now I am not getting that money. And I'm frustrated. So I'm trying to like decide if I should still pamper myself or not, or maybe do like half of what I was going to do. But yeah. So I basically want to get my hair cut, even though I was planning on growing it out because it's really irritating me that it's so long. So I was planning on getting my hair cut and getting my nails done. But I'm thinking now I'm just possibly just going to get my hair cut. I was going to get it dyed too, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to get it cut. I can dye it at home for like $10. I prefer getting it done professionally, but if I can do it at home for $10 versus like the package I was going to get was almost $100. So that's quite a significant difference. The haircut package that I'm planning on getting instead is $25. So I'm roughly cutting out 75% of what I was going to spend there, and then I'm cutting out 100% of what I was going to spend on nails. So I'll just keep my nails. I mean, they're nice looking nails. It's not like I have crappy nails, but I really wanted French tips because I like having my nails done, and Chris mentioned that he likes French tips. So I thought it was going to be a nice thing for both of us, but apparently not. And it's weird because I really want to ask my dad for money for it, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. He often floats me some cash if I need it for something, but getting my nails done is not a need. Some would argue it's a mental health need, but my mental health is mostly fine right now, so I can't really make that argument. Like today specifically, not a great day from all that I just explained. But, like, ultimately, I'm still, like, doing okay. And seeing Chris tonight will help. I'm trying to think if there are any topics that I haven't covered yet that are like important medically. I've covered ports, I've covered cystic fibrosis, I've covered lung transplant. I just covered some stuff about diabetes and blood drawing. Mental health I've covered. I don't know. I did learn on the plus side of things that there's a good chance I'll be seeing a really good friend of mine from back when I lived in Tennessee several years ago. And I haven't seen him in a while. It's been years since I've seen him. My dad and I took a trip to Tennessee relatively recently, and we tried to work something out where I could see my friend then. His name's Jake. So we were trying to see Jake then, but it just didn't work out. So now I'm thinking of getting him up here and with Grandma and Grandpa, because they're planning on coming up anyway, and they live nearby to where Jake lives. So I was seeing if maybe he could just like hitch a ride with them and sleep on our couch while they go get a hotel room, because they were planning on getting a hotel room anyway, and I don't want to add an extra bed to their expenses, because that can change the price of a room pretty dramatically depending on the hotel and availability. I worked in a hotel once, so I kind of understand how their pricing works now, and it's kind of silly, but it makes sense. So if you ever like complain about hotel prices, most of the time those prices are logical for the way the algorithm works. But not always. Sometimes people are just trying to rip you off. So, sorry that I don't have more insight as to how to tell if you're being ripped off. Go with your gut. Price match. Do research. And I would say the same thing for doing a port, which we were talking about earlier, is if you're really scared about them, research them. There are pictures online of what typical ones look like, and procedure and stuff like that. So, I could talk about other surgeries I've had. So cystic fibrosis patients have a lot of like peripheral things wrong with them besides just like the lungs. So like for me, I have sinus problems that are moderate to severe, depending on the day. And I've had gallstones and I've had kidney stones and I've had infectious arthritis. I also have like regular arthritis, but that's really not a big deal. It's just a little pain, no big deal. But anyway, so for the sinus problems, I've had to have sinus surgery a couple of times. And they also require it as part of a lung transplant workup to have your sinuses looked at and cleaned out and all that fun stuff. The last sinus surgery I had, they actually found a colony of aspergillus in my sinuses, and that is a fungus, which actually explained why I had been so sick, and nobody knew, because none of the normal tests they run test for fungus in your nose. I mean, that's not a normal thing. So that's probably what had me so sick for a while, earlier on in the year. Well, last year, I mean, 2018. The gallstones were a disaster for me. So the way the stones formed and where they landed in my gallbladder, the way I understand it, is they were blocking off a duct that led to like my liver and my pancreas. So I was suffering from like the beginning stages of acute liver failure and the beginning stages of pancreatitis because of that blockage. So they did like an exploratory surgery to get those stones out immediately, and then later they decided to just take the whole gallbladder out. Since then I've been having issues with colitis, which is another stomach thing. It's like inflammation of the stomach that's irritated by diet. And it's kind of touch and go. I haven't pinpointed what affects it or not yet. As for kidney stones, you can't really take out your kidneys because you need those. But I got lucky and mine dissolved, so I didn't have to pass any stones. But just having them sitting there really was painful, like extremely painful. Like between the kidney stones and the gallstones, I much rather would have had the gallstones. Because kidney stones make your whole entire back hurt. And it even kind of wraps around a little bit to your stomach too. But it's a pretty intense pain, or at least it was for me. And I can't imagine how passing them might feel. But anyway, this has been a 10-minute video. Again, I forgot to say what time it is. Goodness. So it's 4:45 in the afternoon. That's going to be fun rewatching this to remember what time I posted it later. But anyway, that's it for now. And as always, keep smiling.